Food for thought, or should I say trading your heart. These are two separate titles for the same movie. This movie is on Ruth Kadiri. Now she posted a food for thought earlier on, and she deleted the movie and reposted it, changing the title and calling it Trading Your Heart. Ruth Kadiri said there were some technical issues, so now the movie is titled Trading Your Heart. A recap of this movie talks about a young man who is in love with this young lady. And when she brought in the woman to her house, she realized that this man has a daughter. She thinking the daughter is a little girl. She realized that this man has quite a young lady as his daughter. Now this daughter and this girlfriend started clashing. In fact, they were fighting all the time, and this fight pushed this young man out of the house, leaving the two women to sort themselves out. So this is what this movie is about. Basically, two women fighting over the attention of their man. One is the father, one is the boyfriend. This is what this movie is. What I like about this movie, I enjoy the storyline. It's fun. We all know how when you're dating someone, you know that the person has a child, especially an older child, someone who is in their teens, who can think properly, who knows what's up, who knows what's going on. Fighting for your man or woman attention despite the fact that the man or the woman's child does not like you is hard. It is like a sport. You need to fight. So I think this movie is really fun. It's interesting, and it's also conversation driven, so I think I like that. Next thing I like about this movie is cinematography. Yes, this movie is shot in South Africa. I finally got the answer I was looking for in the previous video I did, called in between time, or between in time, or something like that. Yeah, so this movie was shot in South Africa, so the cinematography was beautiful. The landscape, well, I'll talk about location in a bit. Cinematography was basically beautiful in this movie. I really like that a lot. Everything I said about, is it in between time or between time, everything I said about cinematography in that review, in between time, is the same thing I'm going to say here. Everything about cinematography was just on point. I don't need to even shout about it. If you watch the movie, you will know how beautiful this movie looks. And this brings me to location. Like I said, this movie was shot in South Africa, and if you are into reality show like Big Brother Niger, you should know this location. That was how I got to know that it is South Africa. Pepsi used to take housemates to South Africa for a quick vacation, and I remember seeing this particular location, this house that they were shot in, where some of the housemates, Beauty, Fina, Groovy, and the group, they were in this location for a vacation sponsored by Pepsi. So I'm like, yeah, I know this place. I've seen it in their snap before. So yeah, this location is really beautiful. The house was airy. The scene where Genevive was swimming in that cute jacuzzi, a bit swimming. Oh, see, you can see how beautiful that house is. Did you see that scene where the shot was taken outside of the swimming pool? You could just see the full body of water of the swimming pool. I'm like, yeah, this is really nice. So cameramen really knew where and how to take good shots of landscape for this movie, basically, and I like that a lot. The idea of taking good scenes for this movie, landscape, everything was just beautiful, especially scenes outside the house, even the streets when they were looking for the man. You could just, and even scenes where the two of them, that's Deza as well as Ruth, were running, like beautiful serene. Sometimes shooting outside of your comfort zone is just nice, even if the storyline is not really, just looking at the beauty of the movie itself, you're like, yeah, you like it. So location, cinematography, I really like that. Like, it gives a different feel. I really like how airy, you could just feel how open and airy the place is when they were shooting. So I really like the location as well as the cinematography for this movie. Finally, what I like is costume. I also like the costume by Genevieve. I also like the costume by Ruth, as well as the costume by Deza the Great. That was okay. I like that as well. Then the scene where they were doing the competition, all of them were answering question. I think the costume is what I like about that scene. I like that as well. So costume was okay, and I like how matured Ruth Kadiri dressed in this movie. You know, she appeared really good, put together, and still looking sexy at the same time. I like that a lot. And then they dressed down Genevieve in this movie. She is a child to Deza, so she dressed sexy, innocent, and still like adolescent. I really like the costume in this movie. Moving on to what I do not like about this movie. First, I just want to talk about the cooking competition idea about this story. They should have just concentrated on just telling us the story between or being among the three of them. I mean, we've had movies on YouTube where we have 3-member cast, 4-member cast, and the movie is okay. Even if it's not okay, they still get their numbers. So cooking competition thing, the characters were not it. Those scenes were cringy to me. For me, I'm like, what are they doing, Seb? Especially the question answer session, like that scene. I'm like, it would have been better if they were all sitting down, questions were asked, rather than just standing and doing it like, nah. I just wasn't feeling it. I really, maybe it's okay, the idea was there, but I was just not feeling that scene. I'm like, pretend with this. I really do not like that scene at all. Like, it just make everything look like they were joking, kind of, and I'm not feeling it. Another thing I just want to talk about is how she just used everybody in this movie are the same people or the same cast she used in the other video I just talked about. Is it in between time or something? That movie, it's the same people she used there are the same people she used. And people that are not in this movie are just maybe the South Africa cast members in that one. The people that do not look like Nigerian, the fair ladies, and as well as the bodyguards. Aside that, every other people in that movie are the same cast members. So it's like it's giving you're watching the same people. It's giving you, I don't know, it's just, I wasn't just feeling it. I wasn't just feeling how we could just have the same people. I know it's like you travel with your crew members and then you decide to shoot a movie. I get it, but someone like who is just familiar with the same person or the same people, I wouldn't enjoy it as much as a stranger watching your channel or watching this movie for the first time. So this really might not be an issue for someone else, but as usual, like I always say, these are things I do not like about this movie. Finally, I want to talk about the fact that this movie just lacks a certain source for it. Compared to the other one, a lot of people even actually like that one more, and they were like, okay, this movie had prospect. But if you look at this one, you're like, nah, it just like a certain source. I can't just place my finger on it, but yeah, it just lack it. That notwithstanding, it's actually a good movie, and I'll rate it a 5/10 just because of the location, cinematography, and shooting outside of your comfort zone. That is really something that YouTube producers do not take the risk for. So thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I'll see you all in the next movie review.